Matty, hey, Jim Delapine here. I want to give you some video tips here. I see that you have a very appropriate background here, and it looks like you put Chris in an environment where, it's not a design, it's an actual environment where he's standing, etc., etc. I mean, it kind of looks like he's on tippy toes, but, that's okay. So let's talk about how this is fit in here and other options here. These are really more suggestions than anything. And also another additional learning tool for you. I just feel like I want to show you some extra things that you can do and give you different options here. It's up to you. But the one thing I do not see here that I had requested was to have an adjustment layer that is clipped, a clipping mask, and also a saved and renamed selection as a channel. Okay, so I'll put instructions on how to do that in my comments, so I don't spend time talking about it. So let's look at what we have here. So first of all, the text is not centered. It's like very close to the edge here. So let's just go to that layer. Note I'm in the move tool and my auto select is checked. And so it goes right to that layer. So I'm going to control click so both layers are active, and then I'll move these over and center them. Actually, I'm going to do something different. Let me just, it's so small. So let's see if we can do something a little different here. Computer, let's bring critter Chris. Chris actually should be the one that's, let me just do this, okay? Whoops, whoa, okay, so let me select that. Let me go to my character panel and note that the leading is the amount of space in between lines of text. So this is it's not what it should be, all right? So the leading is noted here, so let's go to automatic, and that's a lot more appropriate, okay? So now what I'll do is I'll scale this up, Control T, and then I will, as I'm dragging out, I'm holding down the Shift key, all right? And then I'll bring it up here, and right about there kind of works, all right? I'll hit Enter to apply that. And now what I'll do is I'm going to also center the text, all right? And then don't worry about the image yet. I'm going to fix that in a second here. I'm looking at the text here. And now what I'll do is increase the tracking, which is the amount of space in between characters. So I'll double click on the word computer, and in character right here, this is tracking here. So you can select the predetermined options here. Or actually 200 worked fine. Okay. I mean, you could also type that in, but that looks pretty good. All right, so there. And let's decrease the leading. All right, that's the amount of space. So we can go here instead of automatic. Let's say 72 points. So this is 73.86 point text, and that closed it up a little bit. So that's good. And now with the image here. All right, so the image behind. So let's just get that in there and make sure that it fits all the text, and there we go. All right, so there we have the text. So it's more centered and it looks better. All right, so now let's talk about other options here. So you have a very busy background. If you want to have Chris stand out more yet still see the background, there's another option here. So I'm going to create a layer below. Actually, I'm hiding this so we have black as the background. Let me make the background white. So white is the background color, so Control Delete. So now the background's white. Now with the server room layer active, I'm going to create a layer mask, okay? Then I'm going to go to my gradients tool and make sure it's black to white, that first option. And now I'm going to create a gradient on this layer mask. So remembering that black masks out and white does not, so I'm going to click and drag all the way down to the bottom. So I'm creating a gradient here. And I held the Shift key down when I was dragging, by the way. All right, so now that masks out the upper portion of the background, and it's changeable. You can change your mind. So let me undo that, and if I click and drag down, and as I'm dragging, I'm holding down the Shift key, I can do that. All right, so you have many different options here. All right, so let's just go. I'll drag down to here. All right, so this is revealing the background. So that means that you can select the background and also fill the background with this lime green here, right? So you'll get that. So you've got these different options here. So I leave that up to you. All right. So let's You should not have any part of the character like this close to the edge. So if I select that arm, hit Control T, and then bring the center point over here. I want to rotate it around that center point, so I'll drag this up. So I'll bring it all the way up here. Right? I see the base here, so I'm going to mask that out. So let me select the layer mask, go to my paintbrush tool. It's at 100% hardness and it's black, so now I'll just mask that out so it's not seen. All right, and there we go. So we have that. Now you could also kind of have fun with this a little bit. Let's say you did want to have this so that this foot is on the ground. All right, this here is it doesn't look like it's flat on the surface. It doesn't, he looks like he's like moving and dancing or on his tippy toes. So let's see. So if I select not the shadow here, so this layer here, and shift click to select all layers except the text. So I've selected all these layers here now. Now I want to deselect this and this layer. So Control click will deselect them. All right. Then I'll hit Control T, and what I want to do is rotate this whole thing except the shadow. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to drag the center point here and then rotate it. All right. All right. I'm getting very dramatic here now. All right. And then I'm going to drag this over and place it right about there. All right. So, okay. So, I just makes this a little more fun. And now this foot or leg is positioned to be more on the ground. Okay. So I'll hit Enter to apply that. So what we can now do is, let's see. I think that's enough. I mean, listen, these are different options. It's up to you. You could do, let's see, if I do this, fill that. What I can do is make a beam come out of this. And what I'll do is I'll create a new layer on top of that. And then I will, it's going to be a little bit too involved. I was going to create something coming out of here, but this doesn't, it's more like a microphone. But so it wouldn't make sense. But there's also other options here. So for example, this monitor head, okay, I'll create an adjustment layer for that, for use saturation. I'll play with the color, okay. So now with the U changes the color. So notice what's happening here. It's changing everything on the entire document. But if I apply a clipping mask by alt-clicking, it affects only the one underlying layer, this layer here. So saturation, let's see. Yeah, see, the color is not affected because it's black and white, so it's not really going to affect it that much. Well, you can get funky, you can play around with this. I don't know. It's up to you. All right. Just have fun with this. Use it as a learning experience, and you're doing great so far. Just make sure you create a selection and save that as a channel that's renamed, and then create the adjustment layer that's clipped. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye.